Hi, welcome to Sunday Story Time, the online program where I read children's stories to adults. 'Cause why not? All right, so those of you who've been following along with us here, you know that we've been reading the book Stanley and the Magic Lamp by Jeff Brown, illustrated by Steve Bjorkman. This book is a follow-up to the original book on the Sunday Story Time lineup that was called Flat Stanley. Just that, Flat Stanley, and that was enough. The guy was flat. He was squished, but in this book, he's all better because they blowed him up, and now he needs a magic lamp. So I don't know about you, but I've been kind of losing interest. A little bit of losing interest here because he's not flat anymore, and it's just not pulling me in. It's just not pulling me in, you know what I'm saying? I think the boy needs to get squished, and he needs to do it soon. Anyway, but we're up to chapter 4, The Brothers Fly. So hopefully now he's flying. Maybe he's a kite again. Maybe he wishes, he's got that genie there. He could just say, "Genie, I want to be flat again." And the genie go, "Poof, you're flat." And maybe he's a kite. The brothers fly. Maybe he's a kite. Whew, hope so. "I'm not complaining," said Arthur. Complaining. "But it's not fair. Some people have liaphants or get famous. I want to be president or as strong as Mighty Man. But all I got was 1 minute with an asket basket we can't even use anymore." It was after dinner and the brothers were in their bedroom with Prince Haraz, all in pajamas. "It's not my fault, Arthur," the genie said, looking hurt. "I just follow orders. Rub, and I appear. Wish, I grant. That's it." Stanley felt sorry for his brother. "Well, I don't think you should be president, Arthur," he said, "but I'll wish for you to be the strongest man in the world. I wish it, Prince Haraz." "Oh, good," said Arthur. He waited, but nothing happened. Darn, it didn't work. Disappointed, he punched his left hand with his right fist. "Ow," he said, jumping up and down. Arthur flapped his hand to relieve the pain. "When you're the strongest man in the world," said Prince Haraz, "you have to be careful what you hit." "But I still feel like me," Arthur said, testing himself. He took a hold of the big desk with one hand and lifted it easily above his head. Stanley's mouth flew open, and so did the desk drawers. Pencils and marbles and paper clips rained down on the floor. "Oops," said Arthur. There's a picture of Arthur holding up the desk with one hand, all that stuff flying out, paper clips, pencils. He does that. He says, "Oops." "This is ridiculous," said Prince Haraz, helping him tidy up. "The strongest man in the world in a bedroom picking up desks? Out having adventures, that's where you should be." "Well, we can't now," Arthur said. "It's almost bedtime." Stanley had an idea. "There'd be time if we could fly. Can't we all fly somewhere?" "Well, I've always been able to," said the genie. "For you two, it'll take wishing." "I wish," shouted Stanley. "Flying! Arthur and me both!" For a moment the brothers held their breath, expecting to be swept up into the air. Then Arthur tried a few small flapping movements with his elbows. "Oh, collybots," said the genie. "Not like that. Just think of flying and where you want to go." It worked. Stanley and Arthur found themselves suddenly a few feet off the floor, face down and quite comfortable. And however they wished to go, up or down, forward or back, was how they went. It was like swimming in soft, invisible water, but without the effort of swimming. Prince Haraz gave advice as the brothers glided happily around the room. "Point your toes. Heads up. Good, very good. Yes, I think you're ready now." He opened a window and leaned out. The breeze may be coolish higher up. We better wear something extra." Stanley and Arthur put on bathrobes and gloves, and the genie chose a red parka and a dragon-face ski mask. Then he said, "Away we go," and the brothers floated through the window after him, up, out into the night. Up, up, up they went, leveling off now and then to practice speeding, but mostly rising steadily higher. Stanley and Arthur flew side by side, gaining confidence from each other, and the genie kept an eye on them from behind. It was a beautiful night. The sky above them was full of stars. Below them, the lights of the city twinkled as brightly as the stars. And there's a picture of them all flying. Look at them all flying in their bathrobes and a dragon ski mask. The brothers' white bathrobes and the genie's red parkas shone in the moonlight. They flew above the big park where an orchestra was giving a concert. Music floated up to them, the clear, sweet tones of flutes and violins and trumpets, the deep, strong notes of cymbals and drums. "Oh, I'm enjoying this," Prince Haraz called through the dragon mask, "so different from inside that lamp." The three flyers joined hands and circled the blaze of light from where the orchestra sat. It was like ice skating to music at a rink, but much more fun. In the distance, the wing lights of a big airplane blinked across the sky. "Let's chase it," said Stanley. "Boy, ain't got any smarter." Prince Haraz laughed. "Go on, I'll catch up." Whoosh, whoosh. Holding their arms by their sides, Stanley and Arthur flashed like rockets across the sky, their bathrobes flapping like the sails of a boat in the sky. The big airplane was fast, but the brothers were faster. Catching up, they flew around and around it, looking through the windows at passengers reading and eating from tiny trays. Arthur saw a little girl with a comic book. Zooming close to her window, he stretched his neck, trying to read over his shoulder. The little girl looked up and saw him, and being mean, she held the comic book down where he couldn't see it and stuck out her tongue. Arthur stuck his tongue out at her, and the little girl scowled and pulled a curtain across her window. There it is. There it is. There's a little girl. She's not nice. She's mean. She wouldn't let him read. On the other side of the plane, Stanley saw a very tired-looking young couple with a crying baby across their laps, keeping them awake. Flying up next to the window so the baby could see him, he made a funny face, puffing his lips and wrinkling his nose. The baby smiled, and Stanley put his thumbs in his ears and wiggled his other fingers. The baby smiled again and went to sleep. Stanley flew back around the plane past the cockpit to join Arthur on the other side. There were two pilots in the cockpit, and one saw Stanley fly by. Turning his head, he now saw both brothers hovering above a wingtip, waiting for Prince Haraz to catch up. "Guess what I see out there, Bert?" he said. "The stars in the sky, Tom, and below us the mighty ocean," replied the other pilot. "No," said Tom. "Two kids in bathrobes." "Ha ha, what a joker," said Bert, but he turned to look. Only Prince Haraz could be seen now above the wing, his parka flapping as he looked around for Stanley and Arthur, who were hiding from him behind the plane. "So, what do you see, Bert?" asked Tom, keeping his own eyes straight ahead. "Two kids in bathrobes, right?" "Wrong," said Bert quietly. "I see a guy in ski clothes with a dragon face." The pilots stared at each other, then at the wing again. But the genie had flown to join the brothers behind the plane. "Nobody there," said Tom. "Let's never mention this to anyone, Bert. Okay?" "Good idea," said Bert. "Definitely." They flew on and had nothing more to say. A giant ocean, that's part 1 of chapter 4. We're going to halt right there. We're going to take, because this is a long chapter, that's part 1. And we'll do part 2 next Sunday. How's that for a deal? I wish he was flat. That's all. Thanks for joining us here at Sunday Story Time. Join us again next week for the second part of this long chapter of Non-Flat Stanley and the Magic Lamp. Happy New Year, kids.